لا تجزعي.
The sun is 1,000,000 miles away, millions of miles away at this moment in time. 30 degrees centigrade, and you and I cannot tolerate the heat of the sun. What happens in this country when the temperature is 30 to 35 degrees centigrade? You lose focus, you can't handle the heat. We take off our clothes, at night you can't sleep, you're tossing and turning. You go to school, it's not productive because it's too hot. That's 30 to 35 degrees centigrade, my young friends. The sun on that day will not be millions and millions of miles away. It will literally be above your head, one span. Miqdar mil. Some narrations, miqdar mil. Mil as in 1 mile. And some narration, mil as in surma dani. The needle that you use to put surma in your eyes, antimony. That is mil in Arabic. So literally it'll be above your heads. What do you think will happen to mankind? Every human that Allah has ever created, from the first man to the last man, every jinn that Allah has ever created, from the first jinn to the last jinn, will be on the plane of resurrection. You'll be literally on top of one another. Man standing next to beast, beast standing next to jinn, jinn standing next to shaitan, and the sun literally above your heads. You'll be roasted, you'll be sweating. People will be drowning in their own sweat. There will be people in sweat up to their ankles. There will be people in sweat up to their knees. There will be people in sweat up to their waist. There will be people in sweat up to their chest. There will be those that will be struggling to keep their heads above their own sweat. This is just the beginning. Jahannam will be brought on the plane of resurrection. It will have 70,000 rains. On every rain, there will be 70,000 angels pulling and dragging Jahannam. On that day, Jahannam will be angry like never before, because your Lord, your Maker, your Sustainer will be angry like never before. The doors of hell will open. The hot air will blow in your faces. The smell will be worse than any rotten corpse ever found on earth. My young friends, you will cry. You will cry. On that day, nobody will listen to your cries. When no tears remain, blood will flow from the same eyes, and you will stay there for years on end, because that day will not be equal to one day. Allah says, "Miqdaruhu 50,000 sana." That one day will be equal to 50,000 years. This is the hour. This is just the beginning. Look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. Al-Qari'ah. Mal-Qari'ah. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا-الْقَارِعَةُ. What will tell you what the Qari'ah is? Do you know what Al-Qari'ah is? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, يَوْمَ يَكُونُ النَّاسِ كَالْفَرَاشِ الْمَبْثُوثِ وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْإِهْنِ الْمَنْفُوشِ. Okay, mankind will be like moths scattered about. Mountains will be like carded wood. Another verse of the Quran says with regards to the mountains, وَهِيَ تَمُرُّ مَرَّ السَّحَابِ. These mountains that you see at this moment in time, the K2, the Himalayas, Snowdon, وَأَلْقَى فِي الْأَرْضِ رَوَاسِيَ أَن تَمِيدَ بِكُمْ. Allah's placed them like pegs in the earth to stabilize the earth. On that day, my friends, the stability will come to an end. These same mountains that you're seeing today, K2, the peaks of which reach the sky, they'll fly right in front of your eyes. These same mountains, out of the fear of Allah on that day, will crumble to dust in a zillion pieces and more. This is Al-Qari'ah. Look at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Next surah, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. When the earth is shaken, a mighty shaking, وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. And the earth will take out its burden. It will take out all those that have been buried inside it. It will take out all the dead. وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. When mankind sees this, it will say, okay, what's happened? What's happening? Allah says, يَوْمَئِذٍ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا بِأَنَّ رَبَّكَ أَوْحَى لَهَا. That is the day Allah, the earth, will inform of Allah for all the gunas that you and I used to commit on the earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the earthquake, the shaking of the earth that will take place on the day of judgment. Picture it in your mind's eye. You're on a small boat in the middle of the Atlantic. There's a hurricane and you're being smashed by waves 20 meters high. Will there be stability if you're standing on that boat? My young friends, This will be the earth on the day of judgment. The shaking of the earth on that day will not be a small thing. It will be an azim thing. It will be a big thing. يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة أما أرضعت. On that day, every mother will forget her child. My young friends, the love that a mother has for her child is mind-boggling. My young friends, in this dunya, she'll sacrifice her life 1,000,000 times for her child. But on that day, look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. Allah is saying on that day, every mother will forget her child. She'll forget the child that she's feeding. The only thing that will concern her is her own self. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَتَرَى النَّاسَ سُكَارَى وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى. You will see on that day mankind in a drunken state. When a person is drunk, the only thing he's concerned about is about himself. Nothing else. On that day, you will see mankind as in a drunken state. They will only have fikr and concern for themselves. Allah saying, in reality, don't think they're drunk. وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى. They will not be drunk. وَلَكِنَّ عَذَابُ اللَّهِ شَدِيدٌ. The punishment of Allah on that day will be severe. My young friends, what fascinates anyone with regards to this and this, what I've just said, is not even a zillionth of what will happen in reality on that day, which you will witness, which I will witness, because you will be there and I will be there. We will all be resurrected and we will stand before the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.